Hello, hello, hello! It's a brand new day, and this is our morning connection. How you doing this morning? I'm Skip LaCourt, and I'm so glad you are here joining me every single day for this connection, this morning connection, this ritual, this morning ritual, our habit, our discipline, our mental toughness conditioning. You and I getting together for our mind, our heart, that gut, right? That drive inside to become our very best, to take every single day on with a sense of urgency, with passion, with energy. I'm just here to remind you of that. I am just here to remind you of who you really are and what you're really all about, what you really want. Make the most out of this day and every day. This is our check-in, right? Talking about things that guys like us, a little bit older, got busy, productive lives, right? We have references of success, just that we love the game of life. We love to experience more. We have challenges. I certainly have challenges. I'm just like you, but that's part of the game, right? When you have the challenges and then you can figure out the pattern and overcome it. I mean, that's what makes life worth living when you're actually winning. We need the down times. We need to play that game. We need to play with that resistance and that, the tough parts of life, because that's what makes it when we're winning, that we really earned it, right? So I hope that life is going for you wonderfully. I know if it is, it's because you've earned it, right? And if you're challenged, maybe what I talk about today can be just what you need. Again, that mindset, that heart, that gut. We all have strategies. There's plenty of information how to do something, how to be whatever it is we want, but we've got to have that rocket fuel, that power behind it, and that's what this mental toughness conditioning is all about. In this morning connection, I want to talk about how to be great in life. How to be great in life. I want to talk about that and a whole lot more in this morning connection. Right? See, I was inspired. Actually, my amazing wife, Carrie, pointed something out to me, and she said, "Hey, did you see that video that went viral about the autistic young guy? Maybe he's a little bit older, right? And he was singing. It was on America's Got Talent. Kodi Lee. Did you see that?" I go, "Well, pretty much on the internet, but I didn't see it. Kodi Lee, and you can probably see it everywhere if you haven't seen it. Kodi Lee from America's Got Talent, the panel that judges Simon Cowell type of thing. And, I got to tell you, when I did look it up and I saw autistic, he came out with his mother, and it seemed like a very predictable type thing. You knew that he was probably going to be a great singer if this went viral, and it's probably going to surprise you. So I think I was like, not really expecting much. And so even with kind of expecting the pattern, then he was singing. And the kid was just amazing. You got to check this out. Kodi Lee, America's Got Talent. Just Google search that, punch in those hashtags, Kodi Lee, and you'll see it. See, the thing about me is I've always pursued, greatness. How can I be great? Whether I was challenged or maybe I did pretty well, whatever it was, it seems like my entire life, I was. That's what has me here is my passion. What do we as human beings? What do I have to do to become my very best, to be great in life? I've always just been obsessed with that. How to control my emotions, how to get more out of life, and that obsession has me here with you every single day. Help you along to get more out of life. How to be great in life. Right? So when I see things like that, it just inspires me. And this kid was just amazing. And it made me think, right? We whether we're going on the internet and we watch what other people do, it's always a reflection of what value, how does this apply to me in my life? Can I take something with me? Does it not apply to me? Does this challenge my rules and beliefs? Whatever it is, we kind of view the world and it's like, what can we take from it? All right? What is it? How does it make us feel? And when I watched him, it was like, wow, this is a person who has very limited abilities, but made everything out of his abilities. And his mother said that, he was severely autistic, a lot of other challenges. He's blind at the same time. So he had, very little talent and abilities naturally. But when he sang, you could tell he just leaned in. His mother said that singing, music, saved his life. Right? And he just turned into a different person, different voice as he leaned in when he's singing, performing, playing the piano. You got to check that out. Kodi Lee, America's Got Talent. And again, what did I take away from it? And a lot of situations like that, and they don't even need to be severely, handicapped or those type of situations. When I see anyone who is great at what they do, see, one thing that, as I observe people observing other people, when somebody is great, they stick out, they catch somebody's attention, they emotionally move you. Whether it's positive, negative, I mean, they're outrageous. It could be, in the fitness world, they just have an amazing body that doesn't make sense to you. Or they've achieved massive business success, and that's maybe something that you want. It doesn't make sense to you how that can happen. If they seem like they just are happy and they have energy and they have a great relationships and family, it doesn't make sense to you. One thing is a lot of us, and I've been this way, I find is just because we don't have the imagination to figure out how somebody did something. Maybe it's because we haven't pursued it quite yet. We just haven't figured out the pattern. We lack the imagination. Because we lack the imagination, we want to try to discredit, diminish other people's greatness, their efforts, because we don't have the imagination to figure out how to do it yet. Right? You want to really resist that, because all you're doing is you're blocking off your ability to ever figure out the pattern, ever crack the code. Right? So when I see somebody is great at something, I don't say, well, that singer, they just have natural talent and it's easy for them. Like, we may tend to think. I know the journey behind there, the struggles, the pain, all right, the obsession, probably the demons in their head that this one thing is saving their life in some way. And it could be fitness, it could be their singing career, it could be making a lot of money, it could be like Kodi Lee. He's got no other options with his talent. So this is this one thing that gets him to get up. I just admire greatness. I get goosebumps, and it doesn't matter if it's sports, and I can just recognize everything they put into it to be great. Music, I see that a lot in the entertaining world. Acting, when someone just moves you, you just know. If I'm watching them, they're on some big stage, they have a following. I mean, they made it. There's 7 billion people on this planet. They made it to this point where they've captured my attention. And right now, attention is the number one commodity with so many different sources from social media. They caught your attention. They caught my attention. They are great. It just inspires me. All right, it's how can I be great? Now, if you're a little bit older, like me, it's like maybe you took a more conservative route earlier in your life. You did the things that you should. You took care of your family and your business, and you're better than most. You've got references to success, but you don't label it in the great category. All right, you kind of played a balanced game, and you were responsible. So maybe you didn't put enough into it to be great. But you have this burning desire inside. I mean, if you're not going to do it now at this age, when are you going to do it? Maybe you're looking for that thing of how to be great in life, right? Maybe you've dabbled and you've been pretty good at stuff, but not just to satisfy that need, that desire. I just talked to a gentleman. He was reaching out to me, and talked about a lot of great things, from his job to his family, and you could tell he was a confident guy, like he had some references of success. But I got the sense that this guy was given a lot of talent, and even though he's doing better than most, he just doesn't feel fulfilled that he's really making use of the talents and the abilities that he really has. And that angst, right, as time goes on, maybe maybe one of those scenarios that I'm talking about is you, and you're looking for that code to crack, that pattern to figure out on how to be great. Maybe you know what that is already. Maybe you know what that is. It's just that now is the time you want to dig in and be great. You want to be like Kodi Lee on one thing. You got a lot more talent. You're wasting your talent. You've got all this, but you can't go out this way without using it. That's the big thing that drives me. I know that I worked hard to put myself in a position. I got to lean in now, not keep on waiting, to be great. Do you have that burning desire? Maybe you know what it is. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's still developing. Maybe just the thought of leaning totally in is preventing your mind from opening up to the imagination of what you want to be great at. What is it for you? Do you have this burning desire to be great? I want to talk about that. What does it take to be great? You can tell I'm fired up. I'm very passionate about this subject. It's been a lifelong pursuit. I've had some successes, some failures, some confusion, frustration, and overwhelm, right? Some angst around this subject. It's just an amazing puzzle, this life. Gets you up early in the morning. It makes you stay up late at night and keep on keeping on with all the obstacles, right? That pursuit of greatness. And it's not for anyone else. It's for you, right? Because you have it inside of it. How to be great in life. I'll tell you, if there's one thing, I could talk about this subject, for 20 morning connections. One thing is to allow yourself, all right, allow yourself to be different, all right. I want you to stick around for my last tip that I give you, some things to think about. And this is something that the great Tony Robbins, a gift that he gave me. And this is over 20 years ago. I was like he was 4 feet in front of me, a big 6'7" guy, and it was a gift that has me here right now, probably propelled me for my bodybuilding career and everything else that I have got planned in the future. I want to share with you a great gift that the great Tony Robbins gave to me. Again, just being 3 feet away from me, I want to tell you that story because I think it may help you too. So you want to make sure you stick around, all right, if you want to know how to be great in life, right? So one thing is that, you got to have this burning desire. And sometimes we have that burning desire, but we kind of look around. We don't want to necessarily stick out of the pack. We want to stay balanced. Going to pay a price. You're going to pay a price when you want to be great. To be balanced, and we have talked about this in this morning connection show, if you want to be great, you got to pay a price. Those people who you really admire, who are really great at what they do, they may seem balanced now. That may or may not be true. But they're balanced now after putting in an extraordinary amount of effort, willpower, focus, energy, and time into that one matter that they're great at. And now you see them, and now it may seem balanced. And good for them to put it all together. But what it took, we got to pay the price. We got to willingly and joyfully pay the price to be great because we want to satisfy that burning desire. Got to be a little bit different and be okay to be different. I really believe that the mind is so important when you want to be great in life. Is that there's a bigger purpose rather than just making you feel good or whatever that short-term thing. It's almost got to be like it's your mission. It's your duty to other people to be great. I tell you, when I during my bodybuilding career, to do all those contests, all those years, to put all that effort in, to write about it, think about it, make videos, whatever, I'm telling you, I really believed at that time that I was doing God's work. Like the world needed me. Drug-free bodybuilders, they needed me to write, think, and be the example. All right? I don't know if I necessarily believe that right now, but if you want to be great, you almost got to get yourself to believe that the world is missing out. Other people need you to be great and share it with them. Bigger than yourself, right? It's almost like you're doing God's work, right? And if you're kind of feeling that when you think it's kind of hot, lean in, all right? How to be great at what it is. And I wonder if you have something that you want to be great at. Maybe you're just a little hesitant because that isn't what the norm is doing, right? And you kind of feel out of place. That's the right feeling. I think it's part of your identity, who you are and what you're all about. It's not detached, right? Like, I am the epitome of fitness for men who are a little bit older. That's just my identity, all right? I'm the physical, mental, emotional example of energy as you get older, to want more. If that's just who I am, I've got to live it 24 hours a day. I got to think it, I got to breathe it. So when I come on to, turn on the camera, I come to you, I'm talking to somebody one-on-one. It's not a thought, it's just who I am. It's just who I am. It's not detached and something I'm great at. A lot of guys who they talk to me, and they're not using this emotional aspect to be great at something, but they have that desire to be great. And so they pick occupations, they pick things to do that, well, this would be good. I mean, this will make a lot of money, or this seems respectable, right? But there's no emotion tied. There's no fire power, rocket fuel behind it. It's just they're trying to pick something logical or practical because of the niche, the opportunity, or whatever. And that missing ingredient, all right, it's really not part of their identity, who they are, all right? So picking something up, allowing yourself to do that is very important. Being mentally and emotionally flexible along the way to be great. I'll tell you this again. I say this, is that anybody who's great at what you do, regardless of how easy they make it look, regardless of how easy they make it look. I mean, look, there's a lot of people trying to do the stuff that you want to be great at. There's going to be a lot of adjustments to be made. There's going to be a lot of adjustments to be made. You can't just try 10 times and say, well, I tried. Right? It's just got to, a lot of people in business, like if you maybe you want to be an entrepreneur, you talk to people who are entrepreneurs in business who are massively successful, and then you ask them, well, what's the secret to your success? One thing they do, and maybe you don't hear it because maybe their success and they just seem so happy and congruent and happy with their success, but they'll tell you, it was hard, but what kept me going is, and they'll say things like, if I knew how hard it was when I started, I don't know if I would have ever done it. You got to be committed. You got to throw yourself out there. Once you get out there, there is no turning back. Physically, emotionally, you've burned the boats. You're not thinking, well, if I succeed in one vision in my mind and try to work that, and I have got a backup plan over here if my pursuit of greatness doesn't work out. I mean, you got to only see it one way. I encourage you, like, we only have a short time on this planet, right? Do your best to just see it one way as succeeding, even when that self-doubt comes in. That's what you need to be great in life, right? You've got plenty of time to make backup plans, and you know what? The sting of the pain of failure, it's all part of it sometimes. You can always make those adjustments later. But when you take your final breath on this planet many years from now, at least you left it all on the floor. You did everything it took. You can make up your plan B, your backup plans. Worry about that later in your pursuit to be great, right? So that mental and emotional flexibility, knowing that you're paying a tremendous price. You want to be in that special percentage. Probably going to be a lot tougher than you might think, but you take that on. There's no turning back. You have that, right? Probably here's the biggest lesson that I want to share with you. And again, this was a gift from the great Tony Robbins. And a little bit about, my story. A lot of guys say, wow, they see a lot of his influence in what I do. And I take that as a tremendous compliment because he had a major, major impact on my life. I spent a lot of money traveling around the country, going to his seminars, with his coaching, his audio, of course, his thousands of hours, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, in his next level programs and things like that. Well, this was over 20 years ago, right? I remember it's in San Diego. I mean, at that time, 20 years. I bet this it was like a 5-day seminar course that he taught you his skills. And if you've gone to a Tony Robbins seminar, if you've heard about it, I mean, he plays all out, like 10-hour days, right? Just giving. Again, this was like 20-something years ago. It was like just $5,000, whatever, and it was like 5 days. And he taught you his skills on how to be a master influencer, all right, how to be great, how to, master your state, how to teach others to how to help others. That's what the total seminar, I bet it'd be 10 times that amount if he even does it now, right? But here's the backstory is that I wanted to be great. I mean, if you've heard my story, I worked in the grocery store, and my 20s didn't really happen the way that I expected them as I was younger and playing sport. I thought I was going to have this magnificent life. I was going to work hard. Got kicked out in life. Wasn't turning out even close to what I thought it was. A junior college dropout, right? And I'm working at the grocery store, but I said, you know what? At least I'm going to be great. And I worked my way up, the ladder, and in that circle, that was, getting promotions and things that was very coveted for that group. But I knew there was more, inside of me. But I didn't just quit my job. So if you guys want to go for your passion, your thing, I didn't just quit. I did them both. I had very long days with the training, a couple times a day, all the eating, but I had a stressful job managing people for 10, 11 hours a day too, on top of it. The big joke was if I sat down for 15 seconds, I would just shut down and go to sleep. But I loved it. That was a challenge. I was doing both at the same time, really pushing myself. Well, here's the thing. There was this one coworker, and really kind of in a different department, and nice girl, little down, and I was all about helping people, and she wasn't too happy in life. Nice girl, and I would always go out of my way to help her, to inspire her. I kind of, my neighbor, I kind of connected those two, so that I really went out of my way for her. And I remember I was, I was the manager of the store, I was doing the bodybuilding, and then I was on my way to this Tony Robbins seminar in San Diego, about ready to get on the plane. I was packing, and she was actually staying with my neighbor for watching her place, and so she was there while I was packing, getting ready to go. And we were talking about, co-workers at the grocery store that I worked at. And we were talking about, I don't know, some store gossip. And I was talking about Joe or whatever, and I said, yeah, well, Joe hates me, right? Now, when it came to the grocery store, I mean, and here's the point, is when you want to be great at something, Tony Robbins talks about we want to be special, unique, and different. That's a human need, to be great. All right, maybe you have that, and maybe something I'm saying is going to help you bring it out, right? So we have this desire to just be great. That's just a human need. At the same time, we have the need, not a want, a desire, just like we have that desire to be special, unique, and different. We have the desire, the need, all right, to connect with other people, all right, to be a part of a tribe, a group, to fit in. That's a need. Now, we don't, and they fight against each other. Think about it. If you want to be special, unique, different, you want to be great in life, right, you're disconnecting yourself from the vast majority who don't want it, can't do it, won't do the work, can't figure it out, don't want it, whatever it is. So we have that need to connect with other people, right? But at that same time, if we're going to be great, we're disconnecting ourselves with other people. Those two human needs, they conflict. I see this all the time on the internet. Maybe you see it too. I want you to look at it too. Is that desire to be great? They're doing their best to be great, and every time they get some type of resistance, any type of resistance, it really hurts them, right? Because they're disconnecting themselves from people, and they're probably just a forced good doing the best they can, and the haters come on. And that's just normal, right? That desire, that need to be great in life, right? And you do the things, and that disconnects you from people, and we all have this need to connect, to be a part, to be accepted. And that's what I was going through, right? But, at the job, I had bigger dreams than the grocery store. So you're the manager, right? Everybody doesn't agree with the manager. I could care less at that stage. That wasn't a big deal. And the story though is that we talked about Joe or whoever, and I said, yeah, he hates me. And she said to me, she goes, Skip, everybody hates you. And it wasn't really about the grocery store type of thing, but it just hurt me. You know why it hurt me? Because I was so busy all the time, right? From early in the morning, writing for the muscle magazines, working out, preparing meals, cleaning up. Didn't do much of that cleaning up, right? My days were packed. Then the grocery store, then after, then getting ready for the next day. That I'll just tell you, I was rather selfish with my time, and I just went out of it because she was hurting. My need to, she was probably the, one of the one people that I went out of way just to help her out, get her mind right, whatever. And then she turns on me. She's like, even if that was true, why you say that? You happen to be here because you got nothing else to do. It just, like you let somebody in, and for some reason, well, not for some reason, that really hurt, right? Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Because, you expect it from Joe and those other people, right? They're not on your agenda. Their job is just to get their paycheck or whatever, right? But from her? And so the whole flight to this Tony Robbins seminar, that was bothering me. Now, the great thing, if you've been to a Tony Robbins seminar, there's a lot of people, especially now, I see like 10,000 people. Wasn't it that exactly that way back then? it's a very coveted thing is when you can raise your hand and get one-on-one time with him right there with everybody watching. He does that so we can all learn from everybody's experiences, right? But you're getting like a $50,000 one-on-one coaching session with the master, all right? So now this was a very select group. There was probably no more than a couple hundred, if even that much, of us learning the skills that I use today on how to inspire myself and other people from the great Tony Robbins, right? But I was so bothered by that. So, it was a lot easier to get his attention. And the first thing I asked him, I said, what do you do when you want to be great? And this was before he came up with the 6 human needs that I referred to. This is before I was with, as he was developing that, right? And I was just so hurt. And it kind of, I'm used to having a thick skin. So it was bothering me that it was even bothering me, right? But he knew exactly what I was talking about. I said, what do you do in that situation? All you do is want to be a force for good and help other people, and you get this resistance. And I just remember it like it was yesterday. I see it in my mind because it changed me emotionally. It gave me the strength to keep on keeping on, right? To understand what's going on. And, again, he's like 6'7". He got within a couple feet of me. And he does this thing, it's called neuro-linguistic programming. He's a master at changing people's rewiring of their thinking. All right, so, I didn't really understand until later what he was doing. But he realized that I was a massive fan and student of his work, of what he does for the world. Later on, he chose me to be on an infomercial. My story, quitting my job, becoming, the bodybuilder and writer. I was on an infomercial of his that ran for 3 years all over the world. All right, but this was before that time, and he didn't really know me. I didn't have, any type of relationship. I was just, one of the. But you could tell like he's heard this story a million times. So if this sounds a little bit familiar to you, and he immediately jumped in, and he knew the massive amount of respect that I had for him, obviously, to be there, to pay that kind of money at that time, to be in that group. He knows people backwards and forwards. So, and what he did is he was doing this linking of me to him, knowing that if you want to be great, you're going to disconnect. That's going to happen 10 million times, and that's just okay for whatever reason. So on the internet, guys are figuring out, calling them haters, and you can tell they're going through all these things. See, I don't have that, probably because of this session, this time, this life-changing experience I had with Tony Robbins. And here he's 6'7", and he was linking me through this neuro-linguistic program like, you want to be here. This is what you aspire to be. You want to be great here. Right? You've got a massively challenging journey to get here. You can't be worried about those things. Linking him to me, to him, his greatness, my admiration for him. Linking me emotionally to him and what I aspire to be in that road I had to go on, rather than leaving that behind. The link, making that shift of our need to be special, unique, and different, right, versus connection with other people. Disconnect me from those and those thoughts into where he was. Now again, I didn't really understand the power until later, but as I help men all over the world become their very best, I deal with that all the time. That wanting to be more, and a lot of times that alone, and you see a lot of guys that challenge could be the biggest challenge when you want to know how to be great, in life. It could be the biggest challenge, that need to be great. The only challenge is, you're balancing that, also that need, that need to connect with other people. The two fight each other, and that could be the biggest challenge that you may go through. When you have the desire, you want to be great, you're willing to do the work, but you just can't get yourself going. Right? Hopefully, me sharing that story, my vulnerability, because what do I care what she thinks, right? That's what I should say, right? But it really did bother me, and that lesson I got, I hope that shares you, helps you understand that you're human when you have these type of feelings. All right, so that's going to do it for our morning connection. I know it took a lot of time, but I know if you're the type of man to watch this morning connection, this mental toughness conditioning, that you have this desire to be great in life. And hopefully my story was helpful to you in your pursuit. We want to be like Kodi Lee, right? Whatever talents we have, we want to use it to the fullest, especially when we're a little bit older. If we're not going to do it now, when are we going to do it? Let's take on today with a sense of urgency. Let's take care of our bodies. Now let's eat right. Now let's work out. All right, lose that body fat, build that muscle even though we're a little bit older. Let's, even on the weekends, let's go for our legacy to be great. All right, let's produce for our families. Let's love and connect with the people we love with that sense of urgency. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Got to do it today. So I'm here to remind you of every single day. Remember, everything in life runs in patterns. Some are more complex than others. You can figure it out. It may take more time, maybe a little bit of angst and figuring out the pattern, maybe a little bit longer than everybody else. But everything in life, your biggest challenge, your biggest obstacle, we're all facing to get to where we want to be great in life. It's just figuring out the pattern. You can figure it out. You ever need help figuring out the pattern? Maybe some of the stuff that I say, you want it for yourself? Go to skipthecore.com. Read about my coaching and then schedule an appointment at talkwithskip.com. Talkwithskip.com. Talk for 10 or 15 minutes. See how this power, this passion, this energy applies to you and your pursuit of being great at life. But everything runs in patterns, even how to be great in life. All right. Expect the best from yourself today. Expect the best from your efforts and expect the best from other people. They're going to get you, and the power, the passion, the energy, the value that you provide. How can they not get you? You are a force to be reckoned with. Have a great day.